I'm not sure why I am so scared of this project, but I feel pretty intimidated to begin. So I purchased my house, or actually I should correct that and say my husband and I purchased this house back in 2010. It's our first home. It very well could be our last home. I know that most people statistically do not stay with their initial home purchase, but it kind of seems like we might be bound here for better or worse. We did a lot of things to the home in the beginning. We painted everything, we updated things, but then life got really out of control for a long time. Anyway, I am really trying to gain momentum here and just kind of get back on track and start redoing things yet again. When I first moved in, I painted this room purple. I actually painted our home the color of the rainbow. We have 7 rooms to this house, including, kitchen as one room, bathroom as another, bedroom as another. And so the whole Roy G. Biv theme really kind of fit, and I thought, let's go for it. I like color. And that suited us well for a long while, but I started to grow weary of the colors and almost the limitations that I felt like they provided. And based on the fact that we are, all of us, artists, me and my 2 daughters are hoarders and collectors. My husband does not fall into that category. He loves minimalism. I love maximalism. All of the colors and all of the clutter, it just became too overwhelming. So I had this idea to just paint the walls white. I was really nervous about it. I'm not really a white walls kind of gal, but after I started redoing my bedroom, it was so refreshing and so beautiful, and I actually invested in furniture. Previously, all furniture that we had were hand-me-downs, curbside pickup finds, thrift store finds, and also the furniture from my childhood bedroom. So, I just was like, I'm in my 40s. I need to buy my own furniture now. I'm ready to make the investment, even if that means that I can't do something else financially. I just had this intense yearning and aching inside of me to make my space beautiful, and it had been neglected for so long while I focused on raising the kids and running my home business. Despite the finances, I saved up money, I invested in redoing my room, and I seriously could not be happier. I absolutely love the transformation. I love the white walls. Now I'm in the process of painting my entire house white. My kids in particular have been really leery about me changing the walls from color to white. They were scared that it was going to be like a sterile, hospital-like environment, and I've just reassured them that my bedroom does not feel sterile or hospital-like. On the contrary, it feels cozy and inviting and clean despite all of the clutter. And I really think that going with the white walls has kind of been crucial for that. So now I can have areas of intense interest without it overwhelming everything. Not only did I have purple walls, but I had stenciled walls. So purple and stencil, and I had yellow trim, and it was a very loud space. And I still think that it's loud, but I also think it's a bit more elegant, and I am just ready to be in a different phase in my life where I feel a little more refined, a little more in control. It's time to feel a bit more grown up. I'm ready for that. And this room feels like a grown-up's room, whereas my previous room kind of felt like a child's room to me. So I'm really excited about the transformation. And in classic me style, I left one place unfinished. This corner over here in my bedroom has been unfinished for over a year. I guess I must have just exerted myself and pushed myself and then reached a limit where I needed to take a break. And once I take a break from a project, it's really hard to get me back to it. So I thought, I'm gonna do a YouTube video about it. It's gonna motivate me. And I've just been really hesitant to kind of tackle this little space here, and that will make me feel wonderful. So I wanted to take you along this journey. And I think the reason I'm so nervous about it is because I decided to do something pretty crafty with the shelf. And I don't feel like I've done crafty things in a long while. I was a little nervous about making a mistake and not liking it and just creating a mess and a hassle and, you know, investing in supplies and ending up kind of wasting money, time, energy, etc. But let me tell you that the process has been so easy. Basically, I bought these decoupage, and I think that's how you pronounce it, but I'm not sure. I bought these decoupage papers from online, and they've just been sitting in a pile on my desk waiting to be used. Over the weekend, my 11-year-old daughter was really bored. Her older sister was busy and occupied. That is her best friend, her built-in playmate, and she was just kind of aimless. So I gave her this old box, and I said, look, I hate this box. Why don't you cover it in these papers and see what happens? And she made the most beautiful box, and it only took her like, I don't know, 60 minutes. And once I saw her complete the box, I was filled with confidence that she and I could actually complete this project and love it as well. So right after the box was complete, I said, you have a new job. And I gave her the shelf. I took the shelf down. I started working on painting all of the purple walls white and working on the trim, and I gave her the shelf to start applying the papers to. I also helped with applying the papers. It was a really fun and really simple process, and honestly, I think if you have the right kind of paper per your preference, you really can't go wrong. Now, the only thing that was challenging besides kind of the obnoxious fumes from the glue, the rubber cement glue is kind of tricky to work with. It leaves those little booger balls all over that you kind of have to rub until they go away, and they congregate on the floor, and it just looks disgusting and feels disgusting. But I'm gonna use this decoupage glue, and I think I'm gonna go with the high gloss versus the matte glue. So I put some of the gloss finish over it. Immediately, all of the paper that was nice and flat kind of started crinkling and getting wet. You know what it's like when paper gets wet. It's very kind of like, it tears easily. It starts to get all these little ripples in it, and that was a little scary to witness. But you know, we saw the same thing happen on the box that my daughter made. It actually brought her to tears. I had to calm her down. I said, don't worry, it's probably gonna dry a little less dramatic than what it looks like right now. Some of the ripples will probably go away. In truth, they didn't really go away. However, it just adds to the look of the shelf. I mean, I chose all vintage papers here. So if they are tarnished or ripped or faded or wrinkled, you know, it's just in line with the aesthetic. And I just want to stress that this process has been quick, fun, intuitive, simple. I honestly think it would look really cool to end up doing an entire piece of furniture like this, but that would be quite an epic project, and I think I would really have to hone in on my finishing skills to make sure that it was, you know, pretty cleanable and something that wasn't going to get completely junky over the years. So having this shelf in my room is going to be a good indicator of how long this finish will last, what happens to it as it ages, what happens to it when it gets a little wear and tear. So I'm curious to see what happens in the long run. And then if it seems relatively stable and durable, I would consider remaking an entire large piece of furniture in the same way, because I think it's just so eye-catching and pretty. Now, I wanted to check in halfway through and show you where we're at. Yesterday, we completed this in, you know, just a couple hours, and I painted the gloss sealant on it twice, but after 24 hours, it actually really isn't tacky anymore. And so, you know, we've covered decent ground in a short amount of time. Granted, there were two of us, but it's just very gratifying. It comes together pretty quickly. So if you need instant gratification, this is the perfect project for you. Today, we are going to work on covering this other side here. And then the fun part is going to be deciding which side we like better, because clearly there's going to be more visibility for the bottom of the shelf since it's up high and above my closet, and less visibility, or actually no visibility, for the top part of the shelf. Here we go. Gonna work on it, and then I'm gonna install it, and then there's one other really boring thing that I have to do to complete the bedroom, which is finish the, I think it's called quarter round trim along the bottom of my floor, and then we're gonna be all done. So I will see you in the reveal. Well, I don't think that I could be happier with this project. I'm so thrilled how it turned out. I honestly don't think that the film does it justice, which I kind of find usually the opposite happens. Usually something looks amazing in a photograph or in film, and then you see it in person and you're like, it doesn't really match up. But in this particular instance, the opposite is true. I just can't capture how beautiful it looks. I don't know if it's because it's kind of this very stagnant positioned thing and it's awkward for me to film, or if maybe just the collage isn't really showing up with my amazing iPhone camera. But regardless to say, I love it so much more than my old shelf. And it's such a statement piece now, and it's something that I can kind of treasure, especially that my daughter and I made it together. So I absolutely encourage anyone and everyone to try this technique. It's very user-friendly, and you don't have to be creative or artistically inclined. It's super intuitive, and depending on the types of papers that you choose to kind of rip up and tear, honestly, it's really hard to mess up, is what I'm trying to say. So overall, I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed the outcome, and I mean, win-win. No complaining here on my part. Now, the only thing that is kind of irritating me is that I did something a little stupid. I'm not gonna fully blame myself, but this is what happened. I put the shelf up there just to get it out of the way, and when I tried to move it, it was stuck. So I don't know if the decoupage and, if the glue and the shelf wasn't dry. I don't know if the paint on the walls wasn't dry, but it stuck together. And of course, I could have, bashed it apart and really taken it down, but I didn't want to ruin ripping my design and potentially damaging the shelf. So I can't ever see again what the top part of the shelf looks like. You saw the bottom shelf, and that is the side that I chose to highlight, but the top shelf took just as much work, and I liked it nearly as much. Since there was a competition between choosing sides, the side that won out only won by this much, and the idea that I don't have a picture or any kind of film, nothing capturing what the top looks like is kind of frustrating to me. I knew that when I installed it, I was only going to ever see the bottom, but I kind of told myself, put the extra work in, get a picture of it, have it in the YouTube video. That's the way you'll kind of see it if you ever want to see it again, or memorialize it, if you will. But now I have nothing. It's stuck up there, and it is what it is. So I created a bottom and a top, and I'm only ever going to really see the bottom, and I can't even remember what the top looks like at this point. It's a very unique piece, as you can see, with all the different papers. So they ended up looking completely different, yet having a similar feel to them. So anyway, if I want to complain, it's that I just am never going to see the top, and I remember liking it. So, but overall, I mean, the project just came along really quickly. Everything was really satisfying, and I'm curious to see what you think. I wonder if you like this shelf and the way the room looks better now, or if you're like, I kind of like the purple and the stencil and, the yellow trim. So if you want to leave your comments below, I promise to get back to you. I love hearing your feedback and interacting with you, so please don't hesitate to reach out. And if you've hung around for the entire video, if you could like and subscribe to my channel, it really means the world to me. I am absolutely looking to focus on my YouTube channel a bit more and have it less of a hobby, more of a career, and your support is crucial for that. So please, I just really appreciate your support. And until my next video, I will see you soon. Bye.